Hey everyone, I'm trying something new today. Trying to work with OBS a little bit here. So let's see if this is working. It appears to be. Alright. I think it's working anyway. Looks like it is. See something real quick. Working. Yep. Okay. And I want to test something real quick, see if I can hear sound. I think I can. Let me go back to this here. And I want something real quick, see if I can hear sound. I think I can. Yep, okay. So that's all working. Alright, beautiful, beautiful. So I was just about to go to bed when I checked my text messages and saw I had a message from Tim Osmond. And he told me to check out this video, which Timmy sends me links from time to time and I check them out, but you know, sometimes I'm want to comment, sometimes I don't. But this one was pretty interesting. So this kind of brought me back to nearly a year ago. Actually, it was, I guess, well, let's see. It was October 23rd. Yeah, so nearly a year ago, last year, I issued this challenge to flat earthers. So let's hear that real quick. And winter is coming. And so I'd like to issue a public challenge to all flat earthers. Grab the same gear, go to the same location, and take these same photographs. So that was my challenge last year. Unfortunately, no flat earthers took me up on that challenge. But here we are, nearly a year later, and it looks like Mr. Thrive and Survive is actually going to take up the challenge. So I wanted to kind of play this. He has like a little 3-minute video here. I want to kind of play it and analyze it and comment on it and give Mr. Thrive and Survive some tips and even offer to meet him out here if he would like to meet me during the late fall to early winter months. Jose Gonzalez is probably going to come out in December. Reg Rhetoric is probably going to come out in December. So we do have some stuff lined up. It would be interesting to have more people come and take some of these observations. But let's hear what Mr. Thrive and Survive has to say, and I'll comment.
Hey everybody, Mr. Thrive and Survive is October 4th, 2018. You're looking at this video here by Soundly. That's the channel name. Lake Pontchartrain, Causeway.
Lake Pontchartrain.
3 Lakeway Center, 15th floor. This is supposed to be proof of a globe. I'm supposed to be going to Europe next year, and I was going to fly, but, if this is the size of the Earth, I think I'll just swim. So let's take a look at this closer up here. As you can see, an amazing thing here. This is supposed to be proof of the globe. So if you have a ship that's out here, it would go up first, peak, and then go over the curve and go down. That's
okay. So Mr. Thrive and Survive, all the water is at the same altitude, so a boat would not go up and down. It would just say at the same altitude, which is roughly sea level for Lake Pontchartrain. It changes a little bit up and down.
That's exactly what this is showing. I don't know if this is this causeway causing this optical illusion.
It's not an optical illusion. It is exactly what you would expect to see on a globe.
Kind of trick being played or what?
Nope, it's not a trick.
But if you notice over here, it's perfectly flat. You don't have the exact same thing over here. And I've got a question. If you think this is proof of the ball, where is the edge? And I'm serious about that. Where's the edge? Because what is holding this water in so that it is bulged up in the middle? What, gravity doesn't work in the middle?
It's amazing. It really is amazing that they get the globe model so wrong sometimes. And Mr. Thrive and Survive, if you're listening, the globe model altitude is based on the distance from the center of the Earth. That is our model. Okay, so if you're going to talk about what the globe predicts, then the distance from the center of the Earth is the same for the entire water surface. So there is no potential energy to cause the water to slosh or move down, as you like to call it. It's already down. It's all at the same altitude. That's how the globe works. So if we're going to talk about the globe, don't mock it. Talk about the actual model. Don't make some straw man model and mock it.
Is that what you're saying? It only pulls harder on the edges? There would have to be much more water accumulated here in the center, so you have much more tonnage of water. And it's also only one way. It's lengthwise. So this is tubular. It's not like...
That's incorrect. So this field of view, we've already determined this before, is less than a kilometer from left to right. So from the I'm sorry, excuse me. From the left side of the frame, ooh, I need some water. From the left side of the frame to the right side of the frame is less than a kilometer. Right? It's actually less than that, I believe. I need to go back and recalculate it again. I think at some point I said 800 feet, but that was on a photograph, and this is actually 4K video, which is actually cropped a little bit on the sensor, so it's even less in this photograph right here. So of course you're not going to see curvature, even if you were looking at the entire Great Circle route for 1 kilometer, which you're not. Even if you were, you would not see curvature there in 1 kilometer. Whereas the Great Circle route that the causeway is sitting on, that is a 24-mile observation. As a matter of fact, this water tower right here, okay, this water tower is a good I think it's about 2 miles past the causeway. So, what you're looking at here is perspective compression, ironically. This is how perspective looks on a globe. So, when we're comparing 24-mile observation over a Great Circle route versus less than a kilometer at the horizon, which is a different geometry altogether, and I've mentioned this a number of times, you're not going to expect to see horizon curvature. That is what the globe model predicts. Now, flat earthers for some reason think that the globe model would predict something differently, but that's because their understanding of the globe model is skewed, right? They have a straw man globe model that they're thinking about, but that's not what the actual globe model predicts. And what I mean by that is if you go and look at Walter Bisland's amazing blog article here, okay, where he actually provides a 3D rendering of this observation right here. This is a globe model. It's a rough globe model, but it is a globe-based model. And this is the causeway modeled out over that globe-based model. So this is what we should see on a globe. So anybody that talks about the horizon curving and my observations is simply creating a straw man. That's all there is to it. So this is what we should expect to see, and then this is the observation that I made, which validates that model. And so if you look in this photograph here, it's less cropped than the video that he was just showing. That's because this is the actual full frame instead of there being a crop. There's a crop on the when you put 4K on a Sony A7 R2, which is what I own. It actually crops the sensor a bit, and I think it does that for stability. I'm not sure exactly what the reasoning is behind it, but they do crop the sensor a bit. Okay, so let's go back to Mr. Thrive and Survive and what he was saying.
Where this should be the center of the photograph should be the high point on both sides, but look over here. But I have a little bit of a challenge here. I'm going to go to this area as soon as I save up enough money. Maybe I'll actually do maybe half the funds and GoFundMe. I'm thinking about it. Let me know what you think about that. I'm going to go here because there is not only this, but there's another video by Soundly where he does these electric lines, I think going over the exact same causeway.
No. They're transmission lines. Mr. Thrive and Survive, if you'd like to catch up on the context, I suggest you go look at the transmission lines playlist. Go back to my earlier ones where I actually show the transmission lines. There's a number of videos where I show the transmission lines on Google Earth. I've actually marked each and every one of them. So the transmission lines go from basically the Laplace area to the Manchac area, which is south to north, essentially from I-10, just south of the I-55 I-10 interchange. That's where the transmission lines go. Now, the transmission lines, I highly suggest you rent a boat on that day, or you get with me and I bring you out on a boat of a friend of mine. He's more than likely would be happy to do that. Actually, stopping on the interstate is not a good idea. I did do it early on, and I highly suggest not doing that as it's very dangerous.
And I just looked up airfares to get to Louisiana, and I can drive an hour from there, from the airport, and be
An hour from the airport. This is quite literally right down the road from the airport. It's not an hour, maybe 10 minutes with traffic. We're talking about Metairie, Louisiana. Now, if you cross the bridge to Mandeville, Louisiana, that might be 30 minutes from the airport. It's not very far at all.
right here, get in the exact same spot and take this, and I will make a guarantee. I will guarantee that if I see this bulge right here, I will not only admit that we live on a ball globe, but I will swim to Europe instead of getting the airline ticket, because it's got to be not too far at all. If this is how much we have in this 15-mile period, if this is...
It's not 15 miles. The causeway is 24 miles. On the right side of the frame here, that is the 4-mile bascule. And then it goes all the way across, and actually in one of the photographs you can see a cell tower, and then this water tower, like I said, is like 26 miles away, something like that roughly. So this is much further than 15 miles. Also, I want you guys to recognize what he just said. If he sees this observation, okay, then he's going to admit that it's the globe. Now, I think we should hold him to that. I think if he actually does come out here and makes this observation, then he should, one, release the observation, and if he doesn't, we should hold him to his feet to the fire on that. So, Mr. Thrive and Survive, you've made the claim that if you see it, then you will admit it's a globe. That doesn't mean if you post it on YouTube. That means if you see it. So we're going to see how honest you actually are. Because this observation right here was taken in Metairie, Louisiana, from the 15th floor of 3 Lakeway Center. Okay? You need to look that up. So you want to find the Marriott Hotel in 3 Lakeway Center in Metairie, Louisiana. There are 2 Marriott hotels in the New Orleans area. Okay, so you want to make sure you get the right one. Marriott Hotel in 3 Lakeway Center, Metairie, Louisiana. Get a room on the 15th floor, causeway side, lakeside. Okay, then you're just going to set your P1000 up in the window, and you'll be able to easily photograph this picture right here. Make sure you come during good seeing conditions. You know, that's one of the things I've actually added to the description. If you want to be honest about this, if you want to actually be straightforward and honest about it, then you're going to bring a super telephoto lens. You're going to be honest about your observations. You're going to go during good seeing conditions, which means late fall, early winter. You're going to go during a bright blue sunny day, so that there's no ambiguity when it comes to the weather. Because that's what tends to happen as we get these really, really bad observations from flat earthers. That's why I'm suggesting you get in contact with me and we plan something out so we can go at a good time. Because if you go when it's raining, you're not going to be able to see 24 miles. If you go when it's foggy, you're not going to be able to see 24 miles. You know, if you go during a nice, cool, crisp winter day, when it's nice and blue, bright blue outside, and the water and the air temperature about the same, then you're going to get this observation. You'll be able to see it very clearly. So I'm holding you accountable, Mr. Thrive and Survive. If you come out here and take this observation, I will expect to hear you say that you believe it's a globe.
This is how much bulge we have. Anyway, so what do you think? Ought to go there? Don't have a camera either. I lent it out to somebody and he disappeared. So I'll have to get a camera as well, but I'll do that personally. Again, look over here. And where's the edge? What's holding this water here? Why doesn't it come towards the shore? See, this is...
I really want to understand, Mr. Thrive and Survive, if you actually believe what you're saying. Because there shouldn't be an edge on a globe. And on our model, you don't need an edge. And well, the edge is the shore, okay? But the water itself curves on a globe. That's our model. You don't have to have anything holding it there. That's how it works. It's a sphere because gravity pulls everything to the center. Why do you make a mockery of the globe? Why do you make a straw man? That's not honest, Mr. Thrive and Survive. Unless you actually believe that. And if you actually believe that, then you need to correct your understanding of the globe model. Because that's not what the globe model predicts. The globe model doesn't predict that there be a gigantic wall of water that's trying to rush to the shores. No, it predicts exactly what you're seeing right here, and that there will be a nice curved surface.
This is cool because this shows the impossibility of the globe. This water would have to be rushing like crazy towards each shoreline.
No, it would not have to be rushing like crazy towards each shoreline. That literally makes no sense on a globe.
So you'd have to have an edge to hold it in for one, even if it could curve like that.
Well, there is an edge. It's called the shoreline.
So I'm going to go to Baton Rouge, and
It's not in Baton Rouge. It's in Metairie, Louisiana, or Mandeville, Louisiana. That's the two ends of the causeway.
to do this test myself, I will start with a iPhone.
So if you're talking about flying into Baton Rouge, yes, that will be a long drive. Why would you fly into Baton Rouge when you can fly into the New Orleans International Airport, which is 10 minutes away?
Camera, and then I'll rent some camera if I can't afford to buy one by then. Let me know what you think. Should I do this as a GoFundMe, half up?
If you do a GoFundMe, I highly suggest that you also purchase a P1000. That's what you need to do. You need to purchase a P1000 and be done with it.
I'll do the other half myself. And just like with the balloons, show the receipts anyway. But I've learned my lesson. I'll do a lot more video of what I'm doing so people will not make videos saying I never launched the balloons, even though there's tons of footage out there. So anyway, let me know what you think. Again, I'm going to go here. If I don't see the bulge, it's flat Earth. If I do see the bulge, it's a globe. Let me know what you think.
And there you go. He said it again. If he does see the bulge, it's a globe. Well, he's going to see the bulge. So let's see if he's actually honest about it. So this always comes up. The points that he brings up are repeated over and over again in my comment section. And Mr. Thrive and Survive, if you're listening, these are the things that really make it seem like flat earthers are just intentionally being honest. Because we correct you guys on what the globe model actually predicts. Okay? This is what the globe model actually predicts. Okay? Now, if you look at this and you don't understand what you're looking at, that's one thing. But to say that this isn't what the globe model predicts is factually false. Okay? What you're seeing is perspective. Perspective on a globe. Perspective on a curve. Go get a curved pew stick, or go get a curved cue stick and look down it, and you'll see this type of thing. It looks way more curved due to perspective. But this is the curve of the Earth. See, this is a globe model, and here's the curve that it predicts based on a telephoto lens. 1,980 millimeters here. The P900 gets up to 2,000, and the P1000 gets up to 3,000. So let me see if I can get up to 3,000. And also, can I just type it in here? I bet I can. Yeah, okay. So 3000, and let me pan back over here. So this is what you're going to see with a P1000. Okay? So you get your P1000 and go take a photograph, and you're going to see this. So this is our predictions. Our predictions amazingly match our observations. It is a globe. So here are the things that I've been hearing over and over in my comment sections. One, oh, if this is the curve of the globe, then it must be a pickle, or it must be a cone, or it must be a basketball, or it's always some mockery, right? But if you don't believe this is the curve of the globe, then you must not understand the model, because that's exactly what it predicts, you see. The other thing I hear over and over in my comment section is that this is due to some type of atmospheric effects. And I'm sorry, it's not. First of all, typical refraction conditions, the light will bend down towards the most dense air, which is further towards the ground, which will raise the observation. It will raise the objects in the background up higher. It will straighten out curves. Let me give you an example. If we increase the refraction, this is what happens. Do you see? More refraction means make it look straighter and straighter. And this is like a ridiculous amount of refraction that will never ever occur, versus no refraction, which would make it even look more curved. Do you understand? So the fact that there is refraction means that the curve is actually less apparent. So that is completely backwards. Flat earthers have that completely flipped upside down. For what they're suggesting to occur, the most dense air would have to be above our heads, and it would have to come down to less dense air at the ground. And that's just not the way our atmosphere works. Another thing I hear over and over in the comment section is that I've somehow manipulated the photographs, or I've somehow manipulated the videos. But the reality is we have Jose Gonzalez, Johnny Oops, two flat earthers that have both made observations of Three Lake Way from the North Shore, from Mandeville, and they look exactly like mine. They show obstruction of Three Lake Way, and they show the same amount of obstruction, around 200 feet roughly. So you have two flat earthers that are making the same observations. Did they also manipulate their photographs? I don't think so. I've live streamed from these locations. On numerous occasions, I've live streamed from these locations. You can't fake that. Sorry. It's completely ridiculous to think that you can do live stream CGI. It's freaking stupid. It's just a stupid assertion. The other thing is that Jesse Kozlowski has replicated these observations. So has Dandy Pandy. So has Real Everyday. Pretty soon, Reg Rhetoric is going to be out here replicating the observations. And hopefully, Mr. Thrive and Survive will come out and replicate them. And then Jose Gonzalez is supposed to come back in December as well. So there's more than just one person producing these observations. And then you also have other locations around the world where these observations are being made. I mean, basically, if you start making these types of observations, they just lump you in with NASA, you know. And of course, all of NASA's video and footage just has to be thrown out the window because it completely devastates their theory. So, anyway, kind of going on a ramble here, but I just wanted to point out this video by Mr. Thrive and Survive, and I also wanted to point out that I made this challenge 11 months ago. He probably isn't even aware that he's finally the first person to accept this challenge. Besides Jose. Jose went out there recently. But if you haven't seen this video, this quite honestly is one of the best observation days that I ever had as far as seeing conditions go. I have had other similar days that are pretty close. I wish I could have got up into 3 Lakeway on this day here, you know, um, especially at this time of day. I want to show you this particular observation here, if I can get it lined up. Yeah, I kind of wanted to do it without the blue arrow. There we go. Okay, so this observation here is from the east side, and I'm looking at the east lane. Here's the 1.2 mile marker, which I always point out because that is when the lane starts following a great circle route at the 1.2 mile marker. Whereas the west lane is the entire way is on a great circle route. The east lane starts at the 1.2 mile marker, then it becomes a great circle route. So all this water right here is curved. Nowhere near the horizon from 1.2 mile markers all the way out to 4 mile marker here. So this is the 4 mile marine span, or marine hump, I'm sorry. And then this is the 8 mile marine span out here. And if you look right here, this is the 16 mile bascule, which has a tower similar to this one. And there it is, way down there, obstructed. But seeing that type of clarity from this angle is really rare, and I just happened to go out on a really good day. I didn't happen to go out. I had been following the weather conditions and suspected that that day would be a good day. So go watch this video, Winter is Coming Flat Earth Challenge, because I'm reissuing the Winter is Coming Flat Earth Challenge again, nearly a year after I did the first time. Go out there with the same gear, same locations, and take the same photographs, and I'll welcome you to the globe. That's pretty much it, guys. I guess before I end the video, I should go check out the chat real quick. 1 second. Let me see. I need to back up. Jen Morgan, hello. Rob, hello. Logo Sis, Fritz, a lot of familiar names. I'm a Rocket Man. Hey, it's been a long time. I'm a Rocket Man. How are you doing? It's good to see you around. Astro Rex. Geo, what's up? Dangerman 5. Hey, Vanilla H. Christ. Optical Illusion, of course. Let's see. Fritz, what's up? Sorry, Gio, I beat you to the punch, I guess. You can still talk about it. You can still talk, but now you have more fuel for the fire. Alright, let's skip to my next mention. Let's see if people ask me anything. Flat out hero. Dude, I challenge any baller to debate me. Bring friends. I win them all. Ask soundly. Oh, wait, he seems to have erased it. Flat out hero. You were completely devastated in that debate, which isn't a debate at all. It was mostly me educating you. And then you smoked your bong. So yeah, yeah, I had to remove that from the internet. Sorry, I'm not going to get a community guideline strike because you're smoking drugs on my live stream. So yep, gone. Let's see. It's the same airport that Sally saw those planes do a water landing. Yeah, New Orleans International Airport is literally 10 minutes down the road from 3 Lakeway Center. I highly suggest you fly into there instead of Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge is too far away. Let's see what else. Honest? Oh, it must have been whenever I was saying be honest about that. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get him to be honest, but you know, he said he's going to come and do it. So if he doesn't, then we know we'll have something to talk about. But if he does, then I'll welcome him to the globe. Yeah, I think that if he actually does convert to become a Glober, he would take down his channel, or at least his content. He'd become a Tiger Dan, and he would quickly get ridiculed by all his fellow flat earthers. Hey, the people of Earth. Adam Factard, what's up? Baryon, hello. Ford Wolf. Yes. Yes. If you actually go watch that video, Winter is Coming, I actually make that comment. It's kind of an inside joke here. We have 2 seasons. We have summer and February. Yeah, it's pretty hot all the time around here until deep winter. We get some good days during the fall, but it kind of goes back and forth between hot and cool during the fall. Hey, Simon, Dan is around. Awesome. Good to see you, Simon. Man, what time is it there? You gotta stay up late. LGBT bathroom. What's up? Elixium. You'll probably end up lost in West Monroe. Yeah, that would be a bad detour. Oh, man. Okay, let me see if I can catch up. Simon Dan, always roll my cue before playing. Well, man, I'm way behind, aren't I? Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can just look down the edge of a long stick or board or something like that, and you can see how much the curve is actually accentuated by perspective. Simon Dan, I'd love to have a hangout with you someday, man. Trying to get. I'm also trying to get conspiracy cats into a hangout one of these days, hopefully soon. Hello, NASA. Ben says, do I remember when I showed this to Arwen and he blatantly refused to accept what he was looking at was a curve? Yes. It is amazing. It's kind of hard to understand. I can't really put myself into a position where I could see something that was curved and call it straight, but they do. It's interesting. Raj. Raj Hawk says, I predict the return of Grandpa Sally. It may be coming soon. I've had a couple people lined up, and I just haven't pulled the trigger because I haven't, it just didn't fit right quite yet. But Grandpa's going to be back around soon. With that time machine, you never know when he's going to show up. Mark asked me, the P1000 didn't show where the planes were landing, or have you tried that yet? No, I haven't looked for that yet, Mark. The day I went out there with my P1000, the atmosphere was so hazy, it would have been really hard, I think, to make out planes during the daytime. But I am going to go back out there and try that with the P1000. If I don't get it with the P1000, I'm definitely going to go back out there with my Sony A7. The problem with the planes observation is that during the day you're going to run into a lot of atmospheric haze. It makes it harder to see the plane. At night, when things clear up and the plane has those giant landing, whatever they are, spotlights on the front of it, it just makes it so much easier to see. But of course you have to have a camera that's good with low light levels, and the P1000 is not that camera. The P1000 is not very good at night and low light levels. And that's just the nature of the camera. They have a lot of trade-offs. You get a lot of bonuses and pluses with the P1000 that you can't get out of a telescope. One of them is depth of field. You have much better depth of field with the P1000, even though it's an equivalent 3000 millimeter lens, which usually has a very terrible depth of field. The reason you get a better depth of field is because the lens itself is actually not 3,000 millimeters. The way they get an equivalent 3,000 millimeters is they put a very small sensor on there and they crop way down on the image. Basically, there's a cell phone sensor inside the P1000. Same thing with the P900, and that's how they do it. So there are trade-offs with the small sensor. That means that you have less photons per pixel, so to speak. That's the way it works essentially. You just have less natural light to work with, so you have to have longer exposures, or it's just hard to make it really sensitive. If you look at something like the Sony A7S II, like that thing is I think it's a 16 megapixel camera, which is about, I mean, that's exactly the same as, it might be 18 megapixel, but it's roughly about the same resolution as a P1000. The Sony, let me clarify, Sony A7S II and the S model, but it's basically the same sensor as the R model, okay, and the R model has a 42 megapixel resolution. So essentially what they do is they take that gigantic full frame sensor and they turn it into ginormous buckets to collect photons, so that the S2 is specifically designed for low light levels. And they have people that have filmed with the S2 4K at night in the middle of the desert, and you can literally like film the sky and stars. It's amazing what that camera can do. But that's what it takes. And in order to actually film stuff at night, you need very large sensors right now with the current technology. And those small sensors just won't do it. So that's why the P1000 just isn't very good at night. Okay, Mark, I'm back. I think I finally caught up here. Wait, hold on. Nope, I actually somehow skipped. Simon says, email me, buddy. Okay, yeah, will do, Simon. I'll look up your email and give you an email. Did I miss anybody? P1000 didn't show you. Okay, blah, 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 blah. You're an animal. Hey, Soundly, try using a second monitor for the chat box view on your end if you don't have one as handy. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I could have had it on the other monitor. I do have a second monitor. I could have put it on the other monitor. I could have also just put it into OBS or whatever. I didn't think about it. I usually like having somebody in my Hangouts so that I can actually have them address any questions towards me. 6:30 a.m. My goodness, you guys are either up really early or still up late. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm staying up late right now doing this. Tired, ready to go bed. Nikon has a program to hide a twoof. No, I don't think so. Who is Tim talking to? Go make another boring video. I don't know. I keep skipping. Yeah, Mark, I know it's a joke. Go sit on the throne, what? Or Twitter. Yes. Simon, I think I tried to send you a direct message on Twitter, and for some reason I couldn't. I don't know. I'll try it again. Simon, are you going to address my bid, or does Sally need to do it? Flat Out Hero, dude, your videos are not very good. Sorry. I think that's it. All right. I think I caught up. Okay. Well, thanks guys for showing up. And again, if Mr. Thrive and Survive does watch this, or if you know how to get him a link to watch this, tell him I'm offering. I'll meet him out there. I'll bring him a P900 to use. So if he wants to do it. tell them to get in contact with me. My email is on my About section for YouTube. You can reach me on Twitter at @Skeptropolis, which is on all my videos right here. So, thank you, Jen. I will be emailing Simon later. Probably tomorrow, Simon. I'm going to go to bed right now. Okay. Thanks for everyone for showing up, and I will be seeing you guys this fall and winter. I will be making similar observations that I made with the my telescope, and I will be comparing the P1000 against my telescope and the P900 this winter. I have noticed that the P1000, as far as the 4K video, is roughly the same crop as the A7. Sony A7. The Sony A7 does still outperform on raw magnification attached to my 2000mm telescope, simply because it's a 42 megapixel camera and I can crop down on it. But the P1000 definitely has better focus. The new manual focus ring is amazing. I have some really cool pictures, like macro pictures, using that focus ring. So I do suspect I will have better field depth of field and better focus coming up shortly. I'm just waiting for it to cool down a little bit more, and you know, it was end of October last year when I went out and got these cool observations. So end of October, early November into December, I'll be going out there making observations with the P1000 and seeing what it can do. Adam, I have not got a micro focuser for my scope. I did look at it for a while, but I just didn't ever pull the trigger. But I'm going to be. That is on my list to do. I will be looking for the micro focuser. Okay, guys, y'all have a good night.